Hey folks, hope everyone's doing well. This is another episode of Live Hacks. We're gonna hack a little bit on Terraform and DigitalOcean today. Let me finish getting set up here. It's a constant thing. You guys know how it is. You tell everyone we're live and all that fun nonsense in Slack. It's weird when you see yourself. Okay. Alrighty. Let's see. So here's what I'm thinking we're going to do today. I'm thinking we're going to hack on the DigitalOcean example that I've been meaning to do for a couple weeks now. Last time we did a live hack, we ran into this anchor IP issue. And I don't know if folks remember that or not, but there's this thing. Oh man, let me share my screen. And I'll remind everyone. So let's see, DigitalOcean anchor IPs. So yeah, last time we were hacking on this, we were running into this issue with anchor IPs. And so anchor IPs are these IP addresses that get mapped to basically every DigitalOcean instance, but they're only ever used if you attach a reserved IP to that droplet. And so then it gets kind of plumbed behind the scenes. They're docs here in that like droplets created from a custom image are not supposed to receive anchor IPs at all. That does not appear to be the case. That must have changed, so they are now getting anchor IPs. But we were able to eventually confirm after hanging up last time and spending a lot of time on this that those reserved IP, attaching a reserved IP to a custom image does indeed not plumb that anchor IP. And so what that means essentially is that we were able to verify that, and we're now ignoring it in Talos. And now that I say that out loud, I'm hoping that that's in the release of Talos, our latest release. So let's go look. It may not be there till today. Yeah. Okay. Perfect. Yeah. So we have a change in 1.3.3 that solves this problem. It basically not outright ignores those anchor IPs, but it sets them as like kind of locally scoped, so that they're not picked up and used. Like the problem was that they were being picked up and used for Kubernetes, even though they weren't plumbed. So we should have that fixed, which is great. So I think we have everything we need now to build our example for Terraform. So let me show you what we got. I say that, and then I'm going to tell you that I've already started on this a little bit, and it has not been a fun ride so far. So, here we are again, back in the weeds. So I wanted to start this a little before I hopped on today, because last time, again, uploading the Talos image was for some reason super slow. It took like 15 minutes to actually become available. That doesn't seem to be the case this morning. It does actually seem to be creating the images and doing its thing. So hopefully those custom images are going to do what we want them to do. But in doing so, I kind of started running into bugs almost right away. So let's dive in a little bit. I've got this versions.tf file. So this is our contrib repo. You guys have probably already seen this. If you haven't, and you want to play around with Talos, we have a Sedera Labs /contrib repo, and it's got a bunch of examples from various environments. So there's Azure, there's AWS, there's Equinix Metal, hCloud, Vultr, and we want DigitalOcean. And our eventual goal here is a little bit selfish. So we're building these contrib examples so that we can work those into our our test flows, right? So all of our CI, or at least before we do a release, we'll try to validate it against all of these clouds and make sure that it works and does what we want it to do. And we're kind of building out this base here to try to make that happen. So anyway, yeah, so the contrib repo is that. So I went out and I created, let me sit down and then we'll get started here. Okay. And by the way, I don't know if there's a little bit of background music going on too. I don't know if it sounds fine. If it does, if it doesn't, let me know. Okay. So I created a versions.tf, and this has been our little, the way we've been doing this for a little while now. We had the versions.tf file that defines the providers. So I went and put the latest DO provider 2.26.0 and the latest Telos provider, which is 1.0 or 0.1.0. And just kind of quote unquote configured those. There's nothing to configure really. And then what I started to do was creating a custom image. So I kind of just hard coded this first. And so what I'm trying to do is say, okay, here's the URL. And this is just, like I said, a hard coded path to the DigitalOcean raw image. And it's barfing immediately. And what's interesting is it actually does work, but it barfs. So I'll show you what I'm talking about. On the top here, let me re-init because I did mess around with the versions just to make sure it wasn't something dumb and easy. On the right, let's see, I'll blow things up a little bit. Okay. Yeah, so we're re-initted, and then if I apply, you'll see it's going to say it's replacing. Let me destroy, I guess, first. Destroy. Yes. Cool. And so what it does is it actually does go through the process of creating the custom image, but it barfs almost immediately with this unexpected state action here. And so, and it, like I said, it's always something. You guys know that. Let me get rid of some of this stuff out here. So if I'm in the DO control plane, this is the custom images tab. I can see that it does create my custom image, and that seems to work as expected. But the handling of waiting for it does not seem to work as expected. So this may be a code path in the provider, the DO provider, that doesn't get hit very often. I don't know how many folks are using custom images like this, but we're going to do some deep dives here. So what I landed on was this. So in the DO provider, the upstream Terraform provider, or DigitalOcean, there's an image section, and the resource custom image.go is where I'm hanging out today. So this is the code that's responsible for actually creating that custom image. You can see how this here is where it's setting it all up, and then it calls client images create. So that's calling the DigitalOcean client to actually, here's the image, gets your ID, and then it waits for an image. And this is where we're barfing. So error waiting for image to become ready. That's us right here. So we had to figure out why this is happening. Wait for image. Let's check it out. What is it doing? So it takes a target, which is your target state, I think. Yeah, it's got to be. I lost it. Yeah, so it takes a context. What is it taking? Some resource data, fine. It's waiting for the available status, and then the pending statuses are a list of strings. And yeah, I think it's just reading that status. The idea is that it's just going to read that status over and over again until something changes. Oh, look. 2 years ago, Noel wrote this code. What? Funny when that happens, man. Interesting. Okay. Cool. So now I know who to blame. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, so what this is doing is, I think, just waiting for this state, right? And the pending list of pending strings that it's looking for are basically these: new and pending. And what I'm wondering is if they've changed the way this works, um, or they've changed the states or something, right? Because what I'm seeing is, in the output that it was giving us, is the unexpected state was all caps new, and it wanted the target of available, right? Um, and so the pending strings are not all caps, and I'm wondering if there's just not handling of that all caps happening, basically. And so I don't know. I want to try to cheese this to see if that's our problem, and then we can work through, later on, figuring out if it's something in the DO code that needs to change, or if it's actually updating their Terraform provider or something, to use, I don't know, this newer SDK. I don't know. We'll see where we go. So what I wanted to do is try to cheese this and just see if I can make this work by adding in something as easy as like just new, and just hope that it's like, something really easy. So let's see if that works. And so what I'm going to do as part of that is try to remember how to do local Terraform, like overrides for Terraform RC. So that's where I was when we first logged on. Let's see. I am looking for this, I think. So yeah, what I'm trying to do here is I want to try to use the Terraform RC file to override the DigitalOcean provider to use the local copy that I have, so that we can try to make sure this works. Let's see if that. We're gonna see where we get. We might have some fun times today. So yeah, let's see. VI Terraform RC, and then what is the DO? I think it's just registry DigitalOcean, but let's double check. Yeah, okay. So I want to get rid of some of this trash that I don't need. You know what? Let me do this before I mistype. So what I'm trying to do again is do this dev overrides to say anytime I want to use DigitalOcean, I actually want to use my local copy, and I'm hoping this is going to do what I want it to do. We'll see. It looks like from this, I was actually supposed to build this as well, and yuck. We'll see. We'll see if I can just build it and it just works. Who knows? Yeah, make build. Okay, let's try it out. Go installed it, I think. Interesting. Let's see if that works. It should tell me, I think. Let's see. Does not appear to be picking it up. I think it's supposed to give me some output about that. Like, yeah, this warning, development, blah, blah, blah. Did I mistype it or something? Maybe maybe it just need to be a dot in front of it. Bummer. Okay, now we gotta figure this out. File must be named Terraform RC. Okay, so it's not .rc. Interesting. Weird. Okay. Good grief. Helps if you can type Terraform RC. Now, let's try. Illegal character. Good grief. What didn't it like? Oh, it's these quotes. Goofy. Okay. Copy and paste strikes again. Okay. All right. Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Yes. Okay. Maybe. Could not find the executable. That we kind of knew. So why didn't go build do what I wanted to do? Oh, I'm looking at the okay, grief. I'm looking at the Talus provider. That's why I'm blind. Should have known it was going to be too easy to build. Because that does call go install. Where does it install it? Let's see. You know what? Here. I'm confusing myself. Some too many terminal windows open here. All right, let's see if that lets us choose it. Yeah. All right. Yeah, so what we did then was we tried to take the easy road and just add a new status of all caps new, just to see if it's actually comparing them properly. If it's not, then we're maybe have something easy, but we'll see. That feels like a good time. I'm wondering if in this ref, what? Oh, they're moving stuff around. This has got a Kafka beta API reference. What's that up? What's up with that? Those are just response headers. Yeah, okay. So this seems to maybe have changed from lowercase new to all caps new. Interesting. Okay. That is bizarre. Mainly because it doesn't match any of the other ones. Weird. I guess we'll PR that up and see what folks say upstream. Okay. So that to me says that we need to get rid of the lowercase new, because that is no longer a valid pending status, I guess. Yeah, all right. Well, I don't want to remove that yet. Let's see. So I'm going to look and see kind of how their commits are normally structured. We do conventional commits because they're awesome, but not everybody does. Yeah, we'll just try to kind of scope it, I think. Images. Use correct pending stat. What is it called? It's not a pending status, is it? Yeah. Okay. For custom images. This PR changes the pending status of custom images from lowercase new to according to the API docs, this uppercase. Okay, now let's go find our failure. Now that I've buried it under 127 other tries. Yeah, this guy. I'll get the whole. I'm going to get the whole error just for the heck of it. Okay, so this is going to be PR upstream. All right, sweet. So now let's drop a PR in. Love it when it's something easy. So we'll create that PR. And I also want to provide, I want to try to provide that, those API docs, but I'm trying to figure out somewhere I can link to here. Oh, there we go. Why is this? Let's see if I can get there again. Not sure why it's talking about Kafka, and that seems to make it very confusing for me. API. API reference. Images. Yeah, I think this is what we want. Let me double check. Yeah. And then I just want to say in here, like something like, looks like maybe did something get merged while we were doing this? Let's see. I haven't set this up, but all right. DigitalOcean, all lowercase. Fetch upstream. Yeah, I guess so. Okay. Okay, cool. And now we wait. Okay, so we can continue with our DO example, which is great. It may not be that useful for anyone until this gets merged. So we'll see how long that takes, and I'll update things accordingly, and we can continue working on this through our live hack sessions. This is a good time for me to get stuff like that done. Okay, so PR is in. Sweet. Let's go back to actually building our example. Okay. I'm going to close this, I think, because I think we've got what we need. Oh, okay, great. If I close the whole thing. All right. Sorry. Give me a second. Okay. Yeah, so we'll say that's fine. I am going to create a variables .tf file. And I'm going to kind of cheat back and forth off of some of these other ones that we have already. And just kind of snatch some of these things that are easy to use. So I'm just wanting to make sure that this is kind of actually helpful for people to be able to actually pick it up right away and use it. The filter plan we'll need to edit. I also want to do, I think Talus version is what we want. Because we do want to be able to update or upgrade that image or upload. Sorry, excuse me. Make that string default is going to be 1.3.3. And then now we can go in. And then let's kind of break this up. Hey, I hope you're doing well. Good to see some folks on today and hanging out with us. Yeah, upload customers. Copilot's amazing sometimes. It's like, just read my mind and do what I want you to do. That works out well. Let's call this Talus custom image. I'm going to name it Talus Linux dash var Talus version. Again, man, I just love Copilot sometimes. Yeah, Bridger. We resolved the issue. I touched on it for just a hot second when we first got on. But the anchor IP stuff that we hit last time, kind of turns out to be, I think, something they've changed internally. So anchor IPs do get attached to every instance now, regardless of whether or not it's a custom image. But for custom images, they don't get plumbed, as you would like, which is what the docs say. They say they shouldn't get it at all, but they don't get plumbed in when a floating IP is attached to the instance. So basically, long story short, in the latest release of Talos, we included, we got this commit in. Thank you, Andre. That excludes it out of, basically make sure that it's like a locally scoped link, so it doesn't get included as a node address, so Kubernetes can't pick it up, which means we should prop it. So yeah, we did get that. We did get that resolved, so that was nice to see. Took a lot of digging, but we got there. All right, so we'll say that one. Yeah, okay. What doesn't like that about that? I guess maybe it needs to be in quotes. Yeah, okay. Cool. So this should get us our custom image. Let me. It's gonna be, yeah, okay. Apply. Oh, in the wrong spot. That helps. Now it'll probably tell me can't destroy. Okay, cool. All right, so Terraform apply. So this will pick up. I'm just getting variables working here, making sure that we can kind of pick those up easily. So that's bringing in our custom image. That should name it with something that makes more sense. Pull it straight out of the Talos version, Talos releases, and put it right into the region that we want. So that should be cool. Let's see. Beautiful. Okay. So here's what I think we need is obviously a bunch of nodes. So our number of control plane nodes, our number of worker nodes, all good. We also, I think, need a load balancer that will need to be set up. That'll probably be the pain. And then once we have that, we're probably almost entirely done, because applying the machine configs is really easy after that. So let's see. Again, I'm mostly like cheating a lot of these on ones that we've done before, and just kind of subbing them out with names. So let's see. No, I could have just kept my comment from last time. So let's see what they're called. Now I've got too many tabs open. Been clicking around too much. Sorry, let me close these up a little bit. Yeah, I think this is what I want. So I want to do a droplet. Actually, what I really wanted to do, there was an example of, yeah, let's see. Yeah, this is the one I want over here. Good grief. This is a pretty nice little example because it includes how to do the droplet too. Yeah, so this is more or less what I want. This is doing flat car, which is whack, but you know. Okay. So I do want this count. I want my region to be bar.do region. We need to handle some image size stuff. Telos. Oh, no, I want. Yeah, exactly what I want. Thank you. I'm going to try to not do SSH keys at all. See how that goes. It sometimes depends on the cloud. Sometimes they make you do it, which is lame, because it's absolutely meaningless for us. But you know, it's how she goes sometimes. Let's see if I can find a good list of. Let's see, New York. I've been doing NYC3 just for the heck of it. That doesn't give me any clear names for these. I don't think. Oh yeah, okay. This is gross, but it's up here. So I'm gonna default to kind of cheap, but not useless. So I usually try to choose something that's like 2 CPUs, 4 gigs of RAM for testing this stuff. It's a good enough, like it's powerful enough to be not horrible to use. Yeah, so that's going to be my default, I think, image size, but we will provide a way to tweak those. Yeah, but I want to control plane nodes. Yeah. And I'm going to make these the same because, again, I think this is a pretty good mid ground for testing this stuff out. But that'll get us where we want to be, I think. And just because I'm going to rename that control plane, spell it out because it's spelled out everywhere else. Trying to do better about consistency. All right, so we have our custom image created. It's uploaded, and now we should. Well, what am I doing? I got to get rid of these vulture instance example that I pulled in. There's my control plane nodes. Let's see if they come up. Yeah. Gotta have an SSH key. See if that cheeses it enough to get it up and running. Okay, didn't like that. What does it actually want for that? I was hoping that was just like a fingerprint and it wouldn't actually validate it, but I guess not. We're gonna have to create an SSH key, I guess. Fine. It's always something. I don't want to do this. That's not what I want to do. I want to generate one. Does this just work? Let's see. Is this gonna do? I think it'll be all right. So let's see if that actually generates first. Ah. So that will create my fake SSH key. Trying to think of what ordering I want this in. I think I want to upload the custom image before I do anything else, because that seems to be the most expensive task. Okay, so then I want to use that to create okay. Yeah, okay, let's try this out. Okay, and I don't want to use a file. I want it to be a string, I think. Yeah, beautiful. Okay. Yeah, let's see if that works. And then from here, I need the identifier of it. So that should be, yeah, cool. Copilot for the win. Okay. So what we're doing here then is we're going to create a SSH key, and then push it into DigitalOcean. And this is all just to because we have to specify one, which, whatever, I guess. Okay, let's try it out. Sweet. Okay. So I think that should look interesting. Settings, maybe? Yeah, there's our fake SSH key. Cool. And then our droplet should come up too. Beautiful. And what these will do, as you guys probably already know, is if there's no machine config that's injected as part of user data, it comes up in maintenance mode, which is what we see over here. And yeah, that should be good. Yeah, okay. So let's do the same for workers, I guess. Uh-oh. Is that workers plural? Make sure I'm getting that right. No. Okay. All right. So that will bring the workers online. Cool. And then, so we need our load balancer. And I need to figure out what that looks like if we have to have the control plane nodes. So depending on the cloud, it just depends because every cloud's different. Sometimes you can create the load balancer ahead of time and use tags to just auto associate droplets or instances with it. Other times it just doesn't work that way. You have to create the load balancer first, create the nodes, create the nodes first, and then create the load balancer and associate the nodes specifically with the load balancer. It just depends. I'm not sure what they've got set up here, so we'll have to figure it out. All right. So yeah. So see, here we have to have the droplet IDs to add in. So we'll need to create the work nodes, the control plane nodes first, which is all good. It's fine. But yeah, just we have to have that rolling. Okay. So let's see. Create Yeah. Okay. Copilot's really reading my mind today. It's kind of freaking me out. Talos LB. What if I named it in other clouds? Because I want to do something similar. Yeah, dash Kates. Okay. Region will remain the same. And so this is kind of an interesting bit here. So it's 6443. I already know that. So that's the Kubernetes endpoint or the Kubernetes port that we always use. So I do want to forward that on. That's fine. The health check, it looks like they're using port 22 to say like this is up and running. Obviously, we don't have port 22 because we don't have SSH. But I am thinking I may give this a 50,000 for the health check because that's the port of API D, which is our API service that handles all the requests in Talos. And that would be kind of nice because API D comes up before Kubernetes, and it's running almost always. Like it's one of the first things to come up and one of the last things to go down in Talos. So it may provide us a little bit better health checking. So I am going to use 50,000 there. And then I'm going to say, yes, Talos control plane, give me all of them. Yeah, let's fire that up and see what happens. The thing I do like about Terraform is, it doesn't like that. It's a tuple with 3 elements. Okay. Do I need to like not have the brackets? Is that how that works? Yeah. Okay. The thing I like about Terraform is being able to iterate like this, right? Like I'm just dropping some nodes in, cool. Now let's do a load balancer. Let's test it out. Cool. Like it is nice in that way. State files still get to be a pain in the longer term, it feels like, but I do like it, being able to iterate on like that. Just curious to see if we got any action on our PR. Nothing yet. It's probably be a day or two. Those things tend to move slow. Okay, where are we? All right. Yeah, Terraform. It's been funny because like we tried not to use Terraform for a while. I'm just reading comments now. I tried to go Pulumi, and Pulumi is just a lot of generated from Terraform stuff. And so we kind of came back to Terraform, and we've got just a lot of folks using it in the community and stuff. So we've kind of come back around to it. I think it's Tim always says, Tim that works here always says, like, it's the worst option until you try something else, I think, which seems about right. This is one of those problems that I think is just really hard to solve. Okay, so yeah, our load balancer's up. I think we're good, which is cool. Now I think we just need to bootstrap Talos. Yeah, right, Andrew, exactly. It's like voting for president. The least bad option. All right, so let's see. So now I'm gonna just yank this whole big blob. And this is gonna say, okay. Yeah, Windor. Yeah, file whatever you want, man. I mean, we need. It's kind of a new. I mean, the provider is a little new, but yeah, we've obviously got more work to do there. So the more you can chime in, the better it's going to be. Okay, so this I want to use. I think these, and then we'll have to figure out where the public IP is. What does this give us? Not much, I guess. What does that output? So I need to go look at the droplet. I'm looking at the droplet to see what it outputs because I need the public IPs off of it. Arguments, attributes. Yeah, just IPv4 address, I think. Okay. Cool. And then this depends on, seems explicit by the fact that you have to have the IPv4 here. I don't know. I'll leave it, I guess, for now. And I need to go find the IPv4 address of that load balancer as well. Just IP. It's always fun how everything's so slightly different between resources within the same cloud. Sorry, I'm seeing a lot of vulture and I'm getting bogged down. So I'm going to search for it. That way they're all highlighted. What are they called? Talos control plane. And this is just me going through and filling out the stuff we needed. So what we're doing here is creating a Talos config. Saying so, okay, first we generate machine secrets, which is us generating all the keys and certs and all that fun stuff. And then we're generating a Talos config using those secrets and the endpoints. Like these are the actual IP addresses of the control plane nodes. Just because we're not tunneling that through the load balancer, it doesn't really make a lot of sense. And then here is where we will create a machine config for the control planes. And this is a pretty powerful resource right here. You can do all kinds of like patching and stuff like that, which we're not going to do in this example. I'm going to try to keep it basic, but you can certainly do all that stuff. You can see the basic example, I think, has a bunch of this. So if you look in the contrib repo, yeah, I'm sorry. It's actually at apply time. The configuration apply where you can inject a config patch. If that interests you or if you need to, this one does install disks and host names and stuff. So if you're using the provider, just know that stuff exists. It makes it a little easier on you. Okay, let's see. Where's that IP? And the way that we do this generally is like we just grab the first address for these applies. So it's just, it doesn't, like if you're applying the machine config, hold on, actually now I've confused myself. Hold on. No, I'm sorry. Okay, so what we're doing is rolling through these one by one and applying the machine config, the control plane machine config to all of them. So yeah, that's what we're after. So I do want this, and then I think it's okay. And I think it's IPv4 underscore address. And then this one, I'm going to actually just overwrite and change because it's the exact same. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Sorry. There's a lot of HCL here. Trying to keep it all in my brain. Okay, so again, for the worker config apply, we'll do basically the same thing. Just gonna take the control plane one and keep it. This needs to be a lot of copying and pasting here. Telos worker, I believe it is. Workers. Okay. And so that will apply the machine configs to all of them. Once that's done, then we basically need to issue a bootstrap command. And the bootstrap command is just, we always pick this is where I was getting confused earlier, but this is where we pick the first node and say telectl bootstrap, and that brings up etcd, and that kickstarts everything for Kubernetes to come online, basically. So we'll do that as well. And we just always pick the first one because it's just the easiest way to do it. Okay. And then same goes for the queue-config. So this is actually just fetching the queue-config off that node after you've bootstrapped it. Like, you can generate a queue-config at that point. And we do that. And then I think we need an outputs.tf file that defines these outputs. So yes, that's what we'll do. And I'm just going to copy and paste the whole file. And I think that's it. I guess it's time to try it out. Missed one. Line 93. So it's saying that Jealous machine configuration worker. Oh, this would be, me copying and pasting and trying to make it easy on myself and then making it harder. All right, so I think this is going to be hopefully the last bit here. Interested in this because that seems to be changing every time. Wonder if I can set this, the distribution. And just set it to, what was it? Unknown is what it's setting it, changing it, trying to change it to every time. What? I'm not that worried about it, but it is annoying that it changes every time. What is it showing as? Unknown OS. So maybe if I just set it to unknown OS, it'll be good. Has to be unknown. Okay. That looks like a mismatch in there. Looks like some kind of mismatch in the API there. But we'll try to apply it and see if that finally fixes it. I don't know if it will or not. Okay. Everything's applied. Let's open up a control plane node and see. Yeah, so it's going through the creation process. It always looks scary. That's usually okay, but we'll see if that's true in this case. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so it's creating their static pods and all that fun stuff now, and trying to add it to Kubernetes. So hopefully we're good. Let's just double check. This I'm thinking is going to be a problem because I think we used HTTP. Or no, that's health check. I'm sorry. Still think this is going to be a problem because I think we're just going to have to use bare TCP for this. Yeah, I think so because we're not going to terminate. Yeah, I think we just want to use TCP for this. Okay. Let's see if we can. Let's see how bad it's going to be when I change this. TCP. See how many things that's going to require a rebuild of. God, that's annoying. That didn't fix that. Whatever. So we can update it in place. That's good. Confused about that value. We may have to come back to that. Let's see. Where did my console go? It says it was done. It may have just been working. Let's see. Let's see if we can get to it. Oh, good grief. I'll copy this whole giant. Okay. Alright. Hey. Okay. Sweet. So we now have a working Terraform example for DigitalOcean. Excellent. Love it when a plan comes together. Okay, so everything's up and running. I will get this. I'm gonna have to build out a README for this too, which is probably not that fun to watch. So this feels like a pretty good spot to call it, I think. We'll do another live stream soon. I don't know if it'll be this week, but at most next week. And we'll see what the status of our PR is that we put in upstream. Hopefully that'll be working out. And then hopefully we'll just be able to like pick it up, use it, and profit. And then I can get all this kind of merged in along the way. Yeah, so we'll start there. Start and finish there, I guess, next time. So cool. Thanks everybody for tuning in and watching. It's been fun. And we'll see you again real soon. Bye.